I was just listening to the wise one, and he said, your ancestors like the Incredible Hulk. You so right. I mean, you probably could have been talking to anybody, but I know my ancestors are definitely like that. My ancestors be like, when I get angry and I can feel the darkness seeping out, my ancestors tell me, please let me. My father God will tell me, please let me. They say that to all y'all. They say that to all of us. Please let me. They just programs, y'all. They programmed to trigger the human emotions. They programs to trigger what make you less than a person. These are programs that trigger what make you inhuman. That's what this is. These are just programs. You got programs that'll make you turn on your best friends. You got programs that'll make you sleep with your homie girl. You got programs that'll make you rob your friend. You got programs that'll make you rob anybody. They program to trigger the human emotions according to the individual. That's what they are. That's all they are. That's all this is. Life is just a test. I had to ask myself something the other day. I said, God, well, what about Martin Luther King? Stand up guy, straight up guy. That's what I do. I sit here and analyze. Okay, God, if I'm right about any of this, what about this person? What about that person? I said, okay, well, what about Martin Luther King? He stood straight up guy. And then God told me, he said he wouldn't let me do my job. He wouldn't let me do my job. Look at all the books in the Bible, Job, Jacob, Joseph, all them books in the Bible. They had to give it over to God and let God do God's job. You think people wasn't in their ear saying, let's protest? You think people wasn't in their ear say, let's go on strike? You think people wasn't in their ear saying, let's go to war? We'll ride for you. Then you wrong. Because according to my knowledge, these people had a lot. And they also had a lot to lose. So that means they had a lot of people that was working for them. They had a lot of people that was looking forward to them basically cashing their checks. Giving them cattle to eat. They couldn't afford for these particular individuals to go into a drought. Because if these particular individuals go into a drought, then that's going to mean everybody around them going to have to go into a drought. That's what God told me. God said he wouldn't let me do my job. And immediately I had to put my head down and pray. So that's what we all need to start doing. Let God do his job. These is nothing but programs. These is programs to trigger your moments. Programs to trigger you. What you would do if you have to stay by yourself and be alone? Will you sabotage everybody around you so you wouldn't have to be alone? What would you do if your lady or your man was looking at somebody else? Would you sabotage? Would you sabotage or purposely hate on this individual so your lady or your man wouldn't, look to that individual? and be inspired by that individual? You know, we all see that all too often in the hoods. So much so we hurry up and try to get rich to get out of the hood because we don't want to be in the hood. But the problem is the hood is still where we from. The hood is still our home. And when you no longer got nothing else, and you go back to where you were from, you go back to nothing, you're going to have to go back to your home. And the problem with that is that you left your home in the same wrong. Your home is in the same wrong that you left it in. So now you got to go right back to that same home that you never liked. Somebody told me something a long time ago because I was finna sign this contract deal. I was working at a job. And they said, that's what's wrong with all y'all. He said, yeah, you a good artist. And to hear that from somebody that was my age, it amazed me. He said, yeah, you're a good artist. You're a great artist. Yeah, you'll probably be overly successful. But why so many of y'all get successful and then just leave your home and leave it in shambles? Then you got nothing left to come back to. You see what I'm saying? Understand that these are nothing but programs. Nothing but programs. Every program that you ever came across in your life have triggered your emotions or triggers for your emotions. Now, how are you going to address the program that constantly seems to trigger your emotions? Even if it's a good program, you've been trying to get a record deal, you can't wait to get a record deal, you've been praying to get a record deal, you've been fighting and striving and struggling to get a record deal, and finally you get a record deal. But you notice that this record deal is truthfully not as good as you expected. It's really not a good record deal. The money there, but the energy is not there. Something's off about the energy. It's more like purgatory energy. Are you still gonna accept this record deal and you gonna lie to yourself and say that God gave me this record deal, knowing that God doesn't live in a record deal? Are you gonna accept this house that you've been praying for, knowing that the energy is off with this particular house? You think it's the house that you was praying for, but it's not the house you've been praying for, but you still want a house so bad. You are convincing to yourself that this is the house that you prayed for, but you know deep down in the heart of hearts, this is not the house that you prayed for. See, sometimes God needs us to keep going through the struggle. God got to continue to mold us in the struggle. You have to be molded in the furnace. If you're from the hood and you're from the streets and you're from the slums, you have to reach deep down inside of yourself and embrace the trials and tribulation that is molding you in the furnace so that you can be ready for whatever you just pray God for. That's why when we typically pray to God for something, things tend to get worse. Things tend to get harder. Things tend to get out of control because you need all that. One thing that I learned from dealing with people who kept me in my south node, though I'm in my north node, I utilized the trials and tribulations that I was forced to stay in to let it mold me a better person. So when I'm going through trials and tribulations, when I'm going through struggles, I embrace the trial and tribulation because I know that that struggle is going to make me a better person. Friends going to turn on you. Lovers going to turn on you. Community will turn on you. I'm going to utilize all that and let it mold me into a better person, a stronger person. The future, an upgrade. What's going to happen if you stay stagnated? What's going to happen if you accept what the programs are telling you? You're going to stay stagnated. You're going to stay in what you call a comfort zone. But it can't be much of a comfort zone when you're in your comfort zone and you are unhappy in your comfort zone. So it's no longer comfort zone, it's stagnation. In order to truly upgrade, you have to embrace the trials and tribulations. You got to let the trials and tribulations upgrade you to the next generation, to the futuristic generation, to a more upgraded version. God appreciation. You can't keep going down the same road to keep doing the same thing because, for one, your body ain't going to let you do it anyway. So you might as well get used to being sound-minded. You need something to get you through the night. You need something to make you go to sleep. You need something to get you out of bed. Who told you that? Is it them dips that we all have in life? That the drugs that you've been taking during your life, making the dips a lot stronger in your life? Is it the dips that's lying to you about life? Who told you that you always gotta have substances just to get through life? Who told you that you gotta party just to get through life? Who told you you gotta go through bed to bed to get through life? Who told you you gotta have a nice car to get through life? Who told you you gotta have a nice house to get through life? Who told you you gotta have nice clothes to get through life? Who told you you had to sacrifice somebody to get through life? I learned to appreciate life with the least, with little or nothing. I learned to appreciate life so much so that even if I bought a bottle of paint from the dollar store, I'm happy deep down in my soul, as if I just bought me some Jordans, some Gator Jordans, Moroccos. I feel like I bought a new car. And then I realized this is exactly what I'm supposed to be in my life. I realized this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. I realized this is exactly what I want to do. I want to learn how to love myself without nothing, not a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out of, and not no new shoes, not no new clothes. This is the perfect time to be able to do such a thing. This is the...
I need to know, damn it, I don't know how to do it.
That's my cousin, my little cousin. This is the perfect time for me to mold me a better person. This is the perfect time when they turn my life upside down and I can't even get in my own car to drive. I can't even see my own child. This is the perfect time for me to love myself. This is the perfect time they put me in a situation where you're supposed to be in a situation where you're supposed to go to drugs. You're supposed to run to the drugs, embrace the drugs. I love you, drugs. God done left me, drugs, so now it's all about me and you, drugs. That is the perfect time for me to put down every single drug, including reefer. And by doing that, ooh-wee. Now I ain't pushing this rock up the hill, because you'll never get up that hill pushing that rock up the hill. Now I got to face this hill with nothing but God. Now I got to truly love myself. No lovers in sight, no family, nobody to help. No physical presence in sight to help. If I can love myself through this, I can love myself through anything. And by loving myself, I learned how to get over that hill. By loving myself and embracing nothing else but the fact of loving God and myself, God remolded me into something that's so much greater. If I knew what I knew today, back in the days, my God. But thank God I didn't, because today it wouldn't be no fun. It's the challenge in life that's interesting. It's the challenge in life that's fun. It's the difference in change that's interesting enough for you to embrace. That's what you want to embrace. You don't want to run from change. You don't want to run from struggle and striving. You don't want to run from trials and tribulation, because that is what's going to mold you a better day. It's going to upgrade you in better ways. I love the fact now that if I was to did get with a lover and she had any kind of dream, I can help her fulfill her dream. Because to her it's a dream, but to me, it's just a situation. It's not even a problem, it's a situation. And it's easy to resolve a situation. It's easy to fix a situation. So the reason why a lot of us haven't grown today, and the reason why a lot of us haven't upgraded, first and foremost, you need to quit looking on TV and looking at celebrities and all that, saying, if I could just make it and hit this one lick. They prepared the way for that. Somehow, some way they earned that. That's why they where they at. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you at. You can be great with where you sit at. I don't have nothing, not a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of, and I feel like I'm just as great as Michael Jackson, if not greater than my brother Michael Jackson, sitting right here with nothing. I'm happy with myself. I love myself. Even though people done edit me. They done edit me from the rooty to the tooty. From physical to spiritual. They done edit me in ways you didn't even think that a human being can edit a person. They done throw so much black magic on me and voodoo on me, I might as well get me a custom suit that say voodoo black magic. Shit. They just throwing black magic and voodoo on me like it's something to do. They are so interested in me. Ooh, they in love with me. I had one woman come up to me and she told me, I hate you so bad, I want to kill you and take your skin off and wear it as a suit. That's what I had. That's how people talk to me. I hate you so bad, I love you and hate you. I hate you so bad, I want to cut your skin off and wear it on me as a suit. That's a lot of hate for somebody who always just trying to elevate you. That's a lot of hate for somebody who congratulates you. That's a lot of hate for someone who loves you, trying to be a physician to you. That's a lot of hate for someone who done helped you upgrade. Woo, that's a lot of hate. Listen to what I'm telling you now. A woman that was supposed to be loving me told me, I love you and I hate you so bad, I want to kill you and cut your skin off and wear it as a suit. And ooh, she got everybody on her side. All the streets on her side, they love her. So we need to think about this, ladies and gentlemen. That's the least we can do. We can think about this. We need to think about this. Because let me tell you something. I see a lot of people on her side and I see them sick and ill. So just look at it. Let's look at it real simple right now, right here. If all those same people would have been supportive to me, they would have had more than a deal. They would have been fulfilled dreams. They'd have been living in the hills. It don't matter if they were celebrities or not. They'd have had the money to afford the meal. They'd be looking good. They'd be feeling good, inside out. But instead, they chose her instead of me. And that's the total opposite. Look around you. And they still doing it today because you scared. I'm going to say this, I'm going to always say this, then I'm going to let it go. My people are terrified of change. It's bad to have this many gangsters, this many thugs, this many mobsters, this many so-called this many athletes, this much greatness, all these sleeping giants. And the most thing you fear the most is change. Out of everything in this world that you can fear, the one thing you fear most is change. Oh, I could lose everything. Oh, I could lose this. Oh, I gotta feed my kids. You ain't never thought about your kids, don't care about your kids, because I know I took care of kids when I was a child. I was a kid taking care of kids. All you do is get that money and you do whatever you want to do with it. You do everything but take care of your kids. I know, because I'm the child you throwed in the trash can. I told you I had to get myself out the trash can. Dumpster diving. Enjoy the trash can. Learn how to live in the trash can. Learn how to build out the trash can. And learn to respect dumpster divers. You can learn a lot from a wino and a dumpster diver. Trust me. Love yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Because ain't nobody gonna love you like you can love yourself. But in order for you to learn how to properly love yourself, you gotta love God first.